welcome to this presentation of Stac Slap Sax, the Baritone by Inouï samples, designed for composers of all kinds. This new baritone sax for contact is made of different modules. You can get them all separately or in a pack. Let's start with the classic module, which is at the core of this instrument, and then we will cover more specific effect modules. Altogether, it's no less than 11,500 samples. So let's get started now with the walkthrough. Here, going into the main panel, you'll find a mixing console. It will give you access to 3 categories of sound. In classic mode, you have first the close position. It's been recorded with a cardioid large membrane static close miking, precise sound and sharp attacks. Ribbon microphone. The ribbon microphone we used was pointing at the same direction than the close one. It softens the high frequencies and slightly smooths attacks. Room, a short membrane static stereo take. The microphone position was intermediary to enjoy better the depth of the baritone saxophone. For each microphone position, you have visual controls, an LED to upload or reload the channel's samples, a gain fader, panoramic knob, solo and mute switches, as well as an output selector. In the classic module, you can access 6 different playing techniques. Dry slap. Very short slap, got by slapping the reed using the tongue without blowing. The sound is percussive, and a slight resonance let discern the pitch. Wet slap. As the reed slaps, the musician releases a little amount of air, which creates a longer and more colored sound. Staccatissimo. Very short note got by an under pressure air emission. The musician blocks the reed with the tongue, let it free, then blocks it again just right after. The sound is extremely precise. Attack and release time are almost nil. Staccato. By keeping the same process as staccatissimo for the attack, the musician let the sound go out by quickly stopping the air supply. The release will be a little longer and more natural. Marcato. Semi-D as staccato, the attack is slightly softer and the musician maintains the sound for a few seconds. Flatterzunge. The tongue vibrates in the mouth and hits the reed at high frequency, creating particular sound widely adopted in modern, contemporary music, as well as jazz or rock. These different playing techniques can be selected by clicking on the LEDs, but also in the red key switch zone in the left part of the keyboard, or else with the Control MIDI 1, the mode wheel. Let's go through another exclusive feature of the classical mode, the modulation part. An acciaccatura played on the keyboard has no realism on short notes, except perhaps for percussions, like the piano notes. This is why we built this module, to make it automatic for you. All you have to do is to express which note the effect starts with. I suggest instead of using this button you use the purple key switches. Lower tone, lower half tone, higher half tone, higher tone. This blue key on the E note deactivates acciaccatura. We made it possible for you to set the acciaccatura timing. Let's see what we can do with the staccato, which is a bit longer. As for the fall module, it can be activated by clicking on its icon or through the green key switch in the high pitch A. It's made possible for you to set the speed of fall. You can also set the depth of the fall. When you're on the left position, it is low, centered, it is nil, and right, it is high. To finish with the classical module, through the setting window, you can activate or deactivate the round robins, and to refresh it. Refreshing can be very useful in the beginning of a sequence. You can activate it using the yellow key switch. You have the possibility to choose exclusive solo mode for the mixing control. An ADSR envelope is also here for your enjoyment if you need it. Let's now find out the instruments available in the FX edition of Stac Slap Sax, the Baritone. Open mouth slap is even drier than dry slap. Open mouth slap is gotten by slapping the reed with the tongue while the mouth opens. The sound is even closer to a percussion, but sadly the change of pitch does not follow the chromatic evolution of the fingerings. In this instrument, each note on the keyboard matches with the fingering on the saxophonist. It will be the ideal instrument to prepare an orchestration and see all the possibilities of the saxophone. Tonal open mouth slap from samples of previous instrument, differently stored and slightly pitched for a few. It was possible to create a chromatic tonal instrument offering the open mouth slap technique. Warning: do not use this instrument in an orchestration to be performed by a saxophonist. Some high-pitched notes will be inaccessible and he will not have the right fingering on his score. Various glissandi, choice of glissandi played without moving fingers. The changes would therefore concern slight variations in tune and also glides on different harmonics. The ascending glissandi are on low notes, the descendant on medium notes, and others, more difficult to file, are in the treble. Inverted path. This technique is often used by saxophonists to clean the gap between the mouthpiece and the reed. The goal is to put the reed in vibration, but instead of blowing, it is needed to suck. Samples are sorted from longest to shortest. Wind and keys. By playing at the edge of the sound, this technique offers you unique, colorful textures. Breathings to start a piece, punctuate a musical phrase. We offer a series of breathing sounds for each situation. First, the inspirations, then the expirations, inspirations, and to finish some throat noises. Each time classified from the longest to the shortest. Samples were recorded with the saxophone in the mouth. The recording was a close miking with the ribbon microphone. Keys is an almost exhaustive list, without the altissimo, of all the possibilities of saxophone key transitions. The instrument takes into account both the note you come from and the note you are going to. For each note, there is 2 different velocities and 2 different round robins. This makes 3,800 samples. To record those, we used a hypercardioid dynamic microphone that we held as close as possible to the keys. This module can be used for orchestration preparations, for execution by a saxophonist. When opening the instrument, it is considered that you are on a C36. Do not forget to add a note before your sequence if you want to start from another point. Whatever your favorite musical ground is, I am sure you just met the instrument you needed. You can find the classic mode, the FX mode, and the full pack on www.inouïsamples.com. To know more, you can download the instructions manual on the website. The link is in the description of this video. If you have any questions, please ask them as a comment or email us directly. We wish you happy creations.